There was a deadly school shooting in Michigan. 3 students were killed yesterday, a 4th just died today, and another 7 people were shot. The suspect, a 15-year-old sophomore, was taken into custody. He has been arraigned on homicide charges. Here's what the sheriff said about the weapon used in the attack.
Preliminary investigation revealed that the weapon used in the shooting was purchased on November 26th, 4 days ago, by the boy's father.
So look at this video posted on TikTok. It shows students barricaded in a classroom after they heard shots fired. It's not entirely clear who was at the door, but some students believed it was the suspect. Let's take a look.
Sheriff's office. Safe to come out.
Yeah, he said it's safe to come out.
Now, we're not willing to take that risk right now. I can't hear you. We're not taking that risk right now. Okay, well, come to the door and look at my bag, bro.
No. Yeah, bro.
He said bro.
He said bro. Red flag.
All right, there's so many roads we could go down, but the first one I want to address is that video, right? Is this kids in fear, or is this their new normal and then kind of organizing to this type of situation?
I think it's both. You know, now we have a whole generation of kids who have come into their childhood, their formative years, with the idea that this is a possibility, that someone can come in to their school in the middle of the day with a gun and shoot multiple people. And they are reacting. And what got me is the way that they reacted. Yes. Like, they assessed the situation. And then once someone was like, this is a red flag, then they went out the window. Like, that is preparation. It's like if you heard, you know, gunshots every single night, then you're not necessarily alarmed by hearing gunshots.
Right.
What you're doing is assessing, where did that gunshot come from? How close is that gunshot? Was that a shot in the air, or was that a shot to kill someone? Like, you're doing all of these things to best get yourself in a position of safety. You know, they have been groomed. This is the new grooming.
Wow, without even knowing it, your brain kind of just goes there.
I mean, it really, when I looked at it, I saw 2 things. I saw, it sadly made me think about like Navy SEAL training, where people are, you know, the training is supposed to be so intense, just like training for boxing or the UFC, that you should be able to do it even if you're concussed.
Right.
Even if you're shot, your body should just react. And I saw that with this video, but I also saw the calmness. Somebody giggled. He said, bro. Like, that's how calm they were, how normalized this has been. And then as I looked at that TikTok, whoever it was had branded their Snapchat on there as well. So we are now in the full commodification of school shootings, where people are aware that they're happening, they're aware that it's going to get a lot of views, and as long as they live, it's going to help boost them to another platform, and maybe they'll get verified. That's where we are with school shootings, not stopping them, just commodifying them and making them easier to push out to the masses for entertainment at this point.
Let me pose a question to you guys, because this is something I think about and I actually talk about in the show a lot. What if a candidate came out running for governor, president, whatever it may be, had swift and harsh actions for school shooters specifically? We know who the shooter is, despite their background. But this person right now, there is no trial. Maybe a harsh penalty such as death, something to prevent some of these school shootings, because right now there's nothing in place. We can talk about gun control, we can talk about reform, all that's great. But what about punishment? What about swift and harsh punishment for the exact person that walks out of school with that gun? Not mistaking them for anybody else, because I know we do a lot of death row stories on here, and I don't mean anything like that. I mean, we know
talking about when you know who did it.
What if a candidate ran on something like that?
Well, so, okay, you just represented an idea of what a candidate could run on. Now let's do American politics. Well, what if they're on a kamikaze mission? A lot of them just kill themselves. Do you think that that's really going to change anything, Jeff? Do you really think it's going to change anything? I mean, what can we do? We just have people who decide to go into schools and they shoot our kids. And at the end of the day, it's only like 2, 5, 7%. And I mean, 500 lives in 2021. I mean, what's that? I mean, do you know how many people die of cancer every day?
Numbers, Erica, we did those same numbers with COVID. You just maybe remember when COVID, when we were talking about sending kids back to school. That's exactly the same thing. Whether it's a bullet or COVID, I think it was somebody went on television and said, oh, it's like 2 or 3% of kids will probably pass away, and people were like, that's 200,000 children. But the way that you can take situations like this, and you hit it right on the head, you can take situations like this and put a number on it, and it doesn't seem that bad. Because you could look at this video and be like, well, millions of other kids went to school and it was fine. Right. And so you can always push this aside and continue to push this aside, and no one will stop and be like, is this a problem in Japan?
Well, who's pushing this aside? Isn't this a unification of the United States that
you would
this
think,
needs to stop?
Jeff, you would think
it's
that
more divisive
we used
than
to
ever.
sing, I believe the children are our future, and now we're like, some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's such every
right,
topic is a deflection. We come up with one topic and it's a great topic we need to actually discuss. And then someone's like, well, what about this? And then we stop talking about what we were talking about, and now we're talking about something completely different. And why is that done? Why is that done?
What aboutism stop you from doing anything?
Right.
Wow.